Are you ready? Yeah, it's about that time for another episode of In the Classroom. Get it? Hype! With your boy, Coach Ace, coming at you again. What's good today, people? It's a Psychoschematics production. So, I'm going to be continuing my intermediate topic series and my scheme versus scheme topic. So, I'm going to dive right into it. So, today's topic on scheme versus scheme will be play action bootleg pass versus zone blitz. And as you can already see, the play art is already prepared for you. So, I'm going to dive right into it. Let's get it. So, now, with play action bootleg, it typically has zone scheme blocking. And as I keep mentioning, zone scheme blocking flows in a specific direction. With this particular play, the zone scheme blocking is flowing to the left. So the purpose for that is it's almost like a setup. So you typically, how coaches would do this is or coordinators, they typically run a lot of zone scheme run plays before they set up their zone scheme bootleg play action. So they set up their zone scheme blocking that flows in a certain direction. They call about 4 or 5 of these plays within the game, so it gets the defensive players in their minds. So within the game flow, they just start thinking, okay, they're used to running this play. This play is a critical aspect of their game plan. And then you switch it up. You use bootleg, and you don't overuse it so that it catches them off guard in a critical moment when you do use it. So, as usual, I'll give you front row view play art so you can see how I drew it out. Now, as I said before, those little black lines are showing the offensive line, the flowing zone scheme blocking. Now, like I said before, that's very important for the play design so that you can trick and deceive the defenders, depending on how you utilize your game plan and how you utilize zone scheme running within your game plan. Now, the tight end's role within this play is actually very important because the tight end runs a quick out. And interestingly enough, that's typically the quarterback's hot route in their first immediate read once they roll out on their bootleg, because the quarterback's rolling out on the bootleg, so he fakes a handoff to the running back, and then he runs in the opposite direction. So the quarterback will have space to either run or throw it to the tight end on the flat for the boot while he's on the run. So the tight end's route is one of the most important routes within this play. And then you have slot wide receiver running a pivot route. Now, I discussed what a pivot route was in one of my previous episodes, but I'll just say it again. Pivot route, you basically step up, do a slant for 2 steps, stay on your slant for 2 steps, and then turn for a pivot. So it's basically like a setup route, and the pivot will go towards the corner sideline. So it's basically a setup if you'd like to run a lot of slants. And then this outside receiver right here will be running a post and corner. Now, I'm sure there's a more specific name for that particular type of route, but In this case, I'll just call it a post and corner. But essentially, a post is a 10 to 15 yard slant. So it's basically a deeper slant. And then with the post and corner, there, after they get to the apex of their post, they make a cut towards the corner. So that route is built for basically a vertical pass play. It's built to gain a lot of yards within the air. Now, for what the defense is running. As I said before, this is zone blitz. Now, with this particular play, the nickel corner is the main pressure creator, the main pressure catalyst. As you can see, the nickel corner will be right next to, right in front of the slot wide receiver in order to get the offense to perceive them they're in man or they're covering based on the defensive and offensive alignment. And then the nickel corner, as soon as the ball snapped, will get rid of it, so we'll move away from the slot receiver, let them run their route, and then try to invade the backfield off of the far 9 gap. Now, so that would be the left side 9 gap. Now, because he's way far wide, he'd be far off the 9 gap, but he'd be invading the backfield off of the 9 gap. The weak side linebacker will provide blitz support by blitzing off the 9 gap as well. The defensive end will rush inside towards the 7, 6, and 5 gap. The defensive tackle will pressure towards the 4 gap. The other defensive tackle will actually be dropping into a hook zone. See, defensive linemen sometimes drop into coverage because defensive coordinators want to just throw quarterbacks and offensive linemen off guard with their protection reads. And this is a classic example of that. The defensive end on the opposite side will simply pressure off of the 8 gap just for containment. And the middle linebacker will drop into a curl flat towards the area that was vacated by the nickel corner. Free safety will be in a deep 1/3. His deep 1/3 will be drifting towards the right corner. Strong safety will be in a deep 1/3. That'll be drifting towards the center of the field. And the other outside cornerback will be drifting into a bail. They'll bail 3 to 5 yards. So bail is basically meaning they just drift back 3 to 5 yards pre-snap, and then they'll have deep coverage. So now for my prognosis and my opinion on who may win this play. Based on the play art, I'd say the defense is more likely to win this play. Now, why in particular? The nickel corner is going to have immediate pressure against the quarterback. I mean, he's literally going to be right in his face, either right in his face as soon as he turns around after the play action bootleg, or it'll basically invade the 9 gap, get in the backfield, and he'll disrupt the pass. So that alone with that pressure, immediate pressure they'll have, plus the quarterback doesn't really have anybody to block for him, since this formation that I provided is single back. There's no one really in the backfield to be able to provide a block for him in this particular formation. So based off of that information and based off what I just wrote on the board, I say the defense has the advantage in this particular play. Now, based on the play art, I don't see it. I don't see the defense making a huge play. I see probably incompletion. Maybe the quarterback is makes poor decisions, like terrible decisions under pressure, maybe throws an interception. But most quarterback, I think they either take a sack or they throw an incompletion because the pressure's in their face. It will be in their face so quickly, such an instantaneous pressure right in their face. I don't see it being anything too drastic because, I mean, they just probably fall, be clumsy, or just get caught off guard by the fact that they have instant pressure right in their face. And then, it'd probably just be a loss of like 8 yards or so. So, that's my opinion on this play. And bam, that's it. Psycho schematics. I got more videos coming up for y'all, so stay tuned. I'm out.